Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Quran Weekly. This is your brother Omar Suleiman. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. You know, one of the things that we see that's prevalent in our times is this sort of discomfort with our own faith. And many times I tell people, it doesn't bother me or upset me when I see someone who's not a Muslim that's uncomfortable with the Sharia, or that's uncomfortable with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed or the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has spoken. But what really bothers me sometimes is whenever we as Muslims might feel sometimes that there's something wrong with our faith, that our faith is somehow inferior, that we somehow have to hide some aspects of our faith. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran something very powerful. Allah azza wa jalla says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فلا وربك لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت ويسلموا تسليما. No, by your Lord. Allah is swearing to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by the Lord of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to show the importance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For those who try to separate the Sunnah from the Quran, this is one of the most famous ayat and one of the most evident or one of the most strongest evidences, or the strongest evidences that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives of the importance of the Sunnah that's used in the science of Hujjiyat al-Sunnah. But that's not really the topic. لا يؤمنون, they have not truly believed. حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم, until they make you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the judge of their affairs. Meaning what? When I'm having a dispute, when I'm trying to figure out, when I'm trying to arrive at the correct answer, I'm not going to go fatwa shopping. I'm not going to go on Sheikh Google and ask Sheikh Google to find me a Sheikh from China or a Sheikh from wherever, or Hawaii, who's going to give me the right answer, or give me the answer that's pleasing to me. I don't go into it with a predisposed conclusion and just try to find evidence to support the opinion that I've already arrived at. I try to see what the Prophet ﷺ said about it. I try to see what's most correct and what's closest to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, not what's most convenient. So until they make you, O Muhammad ﷺ, the judge of their affairs, right, without any bias. ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا, and this is the hard part. ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ, and then they should not feel any sense of resentment inside of themselves, right? It's not necessarily just expressing resentment, right? A person might say, yeah, I know that this ayah says this, and I know this is in the Quran, and I know this is in the Sunnah, and I know the Prophet ﷺ did this, and I know he did that, and you express, or some false form of confidence on the outside, but on the inside you're thinking to yourself, man, does it really say that? Why would Allah say something like that? Why would the Prophet ﷺ say something like that? No, they don't feel any haraj, any form of discomfort, any form of resentment towards that which was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and through the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then on top of that, وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, they submit to it wholeheartedly. They submit to it wholeheartedly. Because sometimes you'll say, yeah, I'm comfortable with this concept. But once it comes to applying this concept in my own daily life, wait, hold on. We can't do that. This isn't what we were raised upon. Fine, we can accept that. We know this is from the Quran and the Sunnah, but we can't do this in our lives. This is something that's foreign to our family. So Allah gives us these three criterions, right? So that we could take them and we could apply them in our lives. And of course, the point is to try to bring these three realities into our lives. And you know what? Here's the interesting thing. The irony about this ayah is that it's revealed in which surah? In Surah An-Nisa, out of all surah, in the chapter of women, where you've got the most problematic verses, where you've got the verses that everyone, that even Muslims will try to be most apologetic over and try to change and try to alter so that it could fit their own desires, or so that it could be more compatible with what is acceptable in our society. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us we accept it as it is, and whenever we find something that we feel like gives us a form of discomfort, first and foremost we try to arrive at the correct conclusion. Once we find correctness, we don't try to go and sway, and we don't try to find something that's going to be more applicable, and then at the same time we don't feel discomfort on the inside. So whenever I see something in the Quran that disagrees with my logic, I'm going to accuse my own intellect before I accuse the Creator of being wrong. I'm going to say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. This is something wrong with me. This is maybe, I'm culturally biased. Maybe something happened in my life that's not allowing me to view this with purity. May Allah forgive me and may Allah guide me to the truth, right? Sincerely trying to come to terms with that thing. And subhanAllah, one scholar, he once said something very beautiful. He said that whenever you find something in the Quran that you're uncomfortable with, argue on behalf of the Quran against yourself. Don't argue on behalf of yourself against the Quran. When you find something from Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, accuse yourself and say, you know what, I'm wrong. There is wisdom here. Even if I didn't figure it out, even if I couldn't put together the reasons, there is hikmah here. Allah knows what He's talking about, because at the end of the day, He's creator and I'm creation. I'm shaped by my senses. For God's sake, subhanAllah, think about this. We are so vulnerable in terms of our senses as human beings that we could be riding on a roller coaster, we could be riding on some 4D ride, and a cardboard box could jump out at us and we could start screaming, thinking for just a moment that this is real and that this cardboard box is actually going to harm me. Why? Because that's how our senses are. We simply perceive things by the senses, the limited senses that Allah gave us. But then you look at Allah, the one who created the senses, the one who created all of these dimensions. And Allah is not limited to a 3D or a 4D world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands the ins and outs of everything, and we have to trust that as believers. And then you know what? We apply those things in our own lives and we don't feel any hesitation. We're not apologetic over our deen. We understand that what was revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was the final message. And Allah would not have made it the final message had it not been applicable to all times that would follow thereafter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those who follow the truth, who look for the truth, who are guided to the truth, and who seek to bring that truth into every aspect of their daily lives. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.